I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
All right. Yeah. This is not gonna be a very long live stream here. And it's so much multiple um topics. It's so much going on in this. There's so much going on. So I'm gonna keep this short because I don't got very long. Let me talk about the pendulum. Right. I'm afraid of the pendulum, and we got the Epstein files. We have uh the lieutenant governor who self-delete himself along with his wife. Then we have Congressman Swalwell, Congressman Gonzalez. um then we have the allegations against I forgot his Cesar Chavez. You got all these news about men, right? And men messing up. Men, uh, whether it's real or not, um, doing the most towards women, and even though I'm anti red pill, anti manosphere, we gotta be careful about the pendulum, because who wants that pendulum to swing back to the back to 2013, 2015? That's really has been my fear, right? because who wants to see um, another Brian Banks? You know, the whole issue of, oh, well, believe all women. But then we get stories like what happened to Brian Banks. When we had issues, what happened to, I forgot his name, what happened in Houston. And that's been, you know, and this video is a response video to this video, right? Because I don't want, what I do not want is us to going back to pre-Trump. And when I mean pre-Trump, I'm talking about when Zoe Quinn lied about the man that she worked under, and the man had to sell what, well, he had to, but the man, because of the false allegations and the lies, and he too self-deleted himself because of the allegations. I really don't want us to go back to that, to the bad old days of the early 2010s, and you know, the first decade of the century, right? And we have Nia Sarkeesian making grifting and making things up, while at the same time playing the victim. I mean, we got to make the pendulum stop. The pendulum swing one way from one extreme to a bigger extreme, that is Trumpism. And that's where I fear, and that's why I was trying to do this yesterday when I was reading about, but Queen Sunkist want making more about. But the point I'm trying to make is the future needs to be protected. I think people misunderstand what I'm talking about. We gotta be careful with our rhetoric. We gotta be careful with our rhetoric. We cannot keep on harping on the past. And when I say harp on the past, I'm not talking about, oh, we're gonna brush over um, issues that need to be addressed. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is making somebody guilty who wasn't here. Making a person feel guilty before they even got here. There's people who's going to be blamed who's not even been born yet. That's what I'm saying. Hell, there's people who are in elementary school who's going to be blamed for what's going on, and a lot of, and that's what we need to prevent. That's been my fear. That's been my fear for a very long time. Now, some of us remember this, right? Some of us who was here long time ago, remember this video, right? Some of us kind of remember this video right here. And yes, you see me 11 years ago going the fuck off, right? You see me going the fuck off about this, right? And and back then, some of y'all might sit there and say, well, Big J, what happened? I mean, why y'all might think I was on that red pill. See, a lot of you really don't understand shit. Y'all really don't. And I know I'm being vulgar about it because I really don't have time to explain shit to people because we got a bunch of Delta Novembers. You know, like one clown says something in the chat room. I'm confused by Big J stance. I'm confused. No, there's nothing to be confused about. Big J, you're sipping for the ladies now, but then making your mind. No, 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 no. I want maximum fairness. This is what a lot of y'all in the red pill community can't seem to grasp. And that's why some of you women can't seem to grasp it either. And when I say women, and y'all know who I'm talking about, the women. Y'all can't seem to grasp it either. Y'all can't. What we say and what we do is going to affect the future. What we put out is going to affect the future. And we got to be careful on how we do it. You know, too many people are so focused on trauma and sharing their trauma that they forgot that you can't make trauma extensive. You cannot extend your trauma. Trauma is supposed to end with you. Trauma is not supposed to be generational. And that's what you MGTOWs, you incels, you MRA, you black management, you know, and you BWE and your swirlers and your divestors. That's, you know, y'all can't grasp that aspect. You know, we shouldn't be making trauma generational. And I've been trying to tell y'all this, you know, since y'all accuse me of going both sides. No, no. All of y'all are right and all of y'all are wrong. No, I take that back. I'll take that back. I should get rid of the word all. Let me just sit here and let me rephrase that because that was a slip. That was how can I say an era of I misspoke. Right? I just say I misspoke. Let me just put it like this. It's a things can be true at the same time. I'll put it like that. Things can be true at the same time. Yes, men are devalued. See, women don't understand that. A lot of women do not understand that men, especially if you are of a certain economic class, and if you're straight, you're just cannon fodder. Women also are devalued because men only value certain men value women as a part, not of a sum, which means which means, for those y'all who don't understand that women are only seen as an appendage rather than seen as a person of their own agency. Or if you want me to get all sexual with it, they don't see women as a sexual value. Okay, I'll put it like that too. So both can be true at the same time. And I'm gonna say this too, as a African American man, who's at the bottom of the totem pole. I know that pendulum, when it swings back, it's gonna swing back against me in a wholly entire different way. Now, the pendulum swinging towards the right, well, I'm in danger because I'm black. I'm in danger because I'm broke. All right? I'm black, I'm broke. But when that pendulum swings the other way, I'm black, broke, and straight. And I'm male. So the pendulum that I fear, you're gonna catch hell on all sides. I'm gonna catch hell on all sides. No matter how this pendulum swings. Now, Trumpism needs to be destroyed. I think Trumpism, MAGA, is a threat to world security, not just national security, to security of the world, along with Zionism. Because Trumpism is starting wars, with unnecessary wars, with our enemies. Today is the Iranians. Tomorrow it might be the North Koreans. And don't think because Donald Trump decides to do a ceasefire of today does not mean America won't be attacked in 15, 20 years. See, Donald Trump created a seed. Him and Benjamin Netanyahu planted a seed and those two men will not be allowed to see it. They may not be allowed to see it, or if they do, they'll be elderly. But they will not see. They most likely they will not be in power. I'll put it like this: they will not be in power when America is attacked again by some outside force. All because they got old scores to settle. And that's another issue that needs to talk about: the pendulum, the generational pendulum swings. You go so far to one end of the pendulum, and when it's swinging back way, it is affecting the people on your end. And that's what some of y'all so entrenched into y'all's ideologies in y'all's groups and cliques that you don't see, that you really don't see what's going on. Y'all really don't. Each action starts a reaction. There's going to be consequences for what you do. You know, Grandpa sold you out. Grandpa is no longer in charge, and he put all these problems onto your lap, and now we have to deal with it. The Zoomers going to have to deal with this. Never mind about us millennials. The Zoomers and Alphas are going to have to deal with this, because the Boomers are on the way out of here. The generation, the silent generation, they're fading away. The Boomers, well, like, forget about Gen X. Gen X is they so confused. So Gen Z is going to sit there, and they're going to try to sit there and remedy this problem. But I hope that for the next generation, though, right? I hope for the next generation that they have the wisdom. All right. I hope they have the wisdom to actually fix this, because we as millennials failed. All right, we failed. Because we allowed social media to take up space and so forth. And speaking about the Epstein files, if y'all go across the pond, Kerry Starmer, I hope I pronounced his name right, is in some hot water. He been in some hot water for a year over the Epstein files. And one of his ambassadors, I think one of the ambassadors to the United States, was at the Epstein Island, or it was either the island or the ranch. I forgot which location. So the British are investigating the Epstein files, and MI5, which is the equivalent to our FBI, MI5, and also MI6, which is the CIA version. Their CIA has some of the Epstein documents over there. So the ambassador to the United States, from the court of Saint James, from the UK, have let's just say was at Epstein, and his name was on the Epstein files, and he was not vetted by the Foreign Office in the UK, and it's been a big scandal. And then there's some other things that happen along with that. So Keir Starmer is facing calls of resignation, to resign, and who is number two is David Lammy. David Lammy is a black man who I think he's from the south side of London. I think hold on, I gotta say, wait. I think it's South Side of London. Where all I forgot where Black London's at. I forgot where it's at. But anyway, maybe I talk to G Block and Divine Queen and them. I need to verify where black people in London's at. But anyway, he's from that area, and since he's the deputy prime minister, it looks like for a short time he might be prime minister with the next 2-3 months. Within the next 2-3 months, because Starmer is facing calls to resign, and everybody blaming Lammy now because Lamley's not going against Starmer because he's trying to keep his job too. You know, he'll be fired to go against his boss. So yes, is why should I go after my own boss when I can succeed my boss if he go down the ship? You're right. If he goes down. So yeah. So everybody kind of like, why ain't you come out? No, he's doing is strategic. All right. However, let me sit here and say this. Lamley was the foreign secretary at the time as well. So I think he might face calls later on. Who knows? But they didn't vet who was their ambassadors to their major allies in the United States and in Canada. So we'll see. Yet he said, I hope they have the wisdom and said, damn it all. Yeah, I really do. I really hope that they will come here and say, damn, the hell with all of it. And you know what? I'm gonna say this right now. I noticed it that they're saying it right now. Some of them are in high school as we speak. Now some of them are in college already. The first batch are in college already, right? So they're already in adulthood. They're saying burn it all down. Let's burn all of this, all this shit down. You know? And I have to say that, Generation Z, the Zoomers, gives no ounce of a fuck. And so that's what it is. So yeah. You might have a first black prime minister of the UK. I'm gonna say within the next 2-3 months. David Lammy might become the first black person as a prime minister of Great Britain. And let me say this though about our generation, right? I'm gonna talk about it, right? We allow social media to get in the way, and we allow ourselves to be grifted. We allow ourselves to be grifted by talking points and again generational trauma. And it kind of feeds into what happened last night on Man of Tomorrow's channel. And I said this though on Man of Tomorrow's live stream that people like Phil DeVos show need to be uh um rolled upon. Because how many lies Phil going to make? How many lies Tim Black, the Black Authority, Tariq Nasheed, how many lies that they're going to make up when there are laws on the book that already that already uh solve what they're talking about? Well, we need, we got a hate crime. There's no hate crimes bill for black people. Yes, it is. It was passed in 2010. All you gotta do is read it. And somebody needs to start asking Jason Black, Tyreek, Tim Black, and them, Sabby Sabs, and the new black media types. How come I don't see y'all on the city council where y'all at? How come I don't see Phil at Houston? How come I don't see y'all over here in Austin? See y'all in Boston? See y'all in Tallahassee or Montgomery? I don't see y'all in Nashville, Tennessee. Yet y'all complain about Brandon Johnson. Y'all don't see y'all up there in Springville complain about Brandon Johnson. And some people really need to know, to go back and learn the Schoolhouse Rock. And this also is the reason why the pendulum needs to swing, right? Because that needs to stop right there. Excuse me. The pendulum needs to swing the other way, because y'all not telling the truth though about policy. Now, I'm no fan of Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, but Man of Tomorrow is right. Federal government gives every city, well, not every city, but most cities, funding. But you have to spend the money only when the federal government tells you how. No, the federal government tells the city government how to spend the money. So when all these illegals came up to Chicago, you try to tell this to these clowns online. The federal government said, "Listen, we give you $3 million. I'm just using that as a baseline. So we give you all these, $2 million. Well, the $2 million is only for this. We give you $3 million only for that." So Brandon Johnson can't sit there and take the money and say, "I'm going to give it to black people," when the money's there for solely for that one specific task. I remember, and I said this last night, right? Or early this morning. I said, I remember the federal government gave my local government $500,000. And the $500,000, I think it was $500,000. I don't know. They gave them a grant. They gave them a grant where it's mostly about using the money solely for natural disasters, or things like, well, it's primarily for public safety, especially against illegals crossing the border. But it's primarily for public safety reasons. you know. But like you try to tell people this, you know, how law, you know, we live in a federalistic society, federalism, where we have separation of powers and powers between states and federal and local. Then we got co-equal branches of government and so forth. So government, so power is not concentrated in one location. So you try to tell people this, you know. So I understand the frustration that man at the Merle have, and like I said, I hope Phil Levi's show, the African Diaspora channel, will show up at that Black Expo in May. I hope he does. I really hope he does. I hope somebody sit there and come to his ass with these questions he be oh, that dumb shit he be saying online. But yeah. Um anyway, I see. Anyway, so I'm done with this rant. Let me get out of here. Um I got another interview coming. I just talked to them, uh to the other political candidate that's coming down the pike. I'm tired. And even though I'm tired, I have to get ready for work. So get on the JOB and shit. Because like I said, nobody financing this channel anyway. I don't get no super chats and shit. So and YouTube is to monetize if people right and left. So be on the lookout for that. So I'm gonna get out of here and see you next time.
I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.